Former Rhode Island Commerce Secretary Liz Tanner is heading up Rhode Island's effort to snag some of the World Cup excitement coming to Massachusetts next year. She's in studio with us. Liz, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Let's just give a primer. It is the World Cup next year of all the world, but North America gets the action. Mexico, U.S., and Canada. And several cities in the U.S., including Foxborough, are going to get some of the action, but we want some of it. What are we talking about? Getting teams to stay here, practice here? What's the effort?
Well, first let me say that it's going to be called Boston Stadium. It's not going to be called Gillette. It's not going to be called Foxborough. They're calling it Boston Stadium.
Now, is that just a temporary name change?
Temporary name change.
All right.
But exciting nonetheless.
Yep. And what do we want? Do we want to get teams playing to stay in Rhode Island, at least practice here? What are we trying to do?
So a couple things going on. So we're expecting upwards of 890,000 people staying in Rhode Island for that time, nearly doubling our population. That's a lot of people. So what we want to try to do is make sure that they spend their dollars here in Rhode Island and enjoy it enough to come back again someday. So what we're looking to do is have a series of events, all soccer related, cultural related, to try to make sure they enjoy themselves here.
890,000 people. That's a combination: hotel rooms, Airbnbs. I mean, you know, a friend you could stay with. These are crazy soccer fans. Devoted soccer fans, a better way to put it. They want to be here for this.
And they don't just come for a few days and stay in a hotel. They're here for a long period of time, weeks, if not a month or so.
Okay, what's the unified effort to grab some of this money, grab some of the action, make it happen for Rhode Island, even though the games are going to be played up in what's called Boston Stadium, as you said?
So the governor was kind enough to create a nonprofit organization, or at least lead us and encourage us to do so, called Ocean State 2026.
Okay.
And it's an umbrella that we're using to raise funds to be able to host these events around the state. So the treasurer, James Diosa, he's the chairman of the board.
Okay.
And then I'm leading the effort to try to do what we can to work with lots of other people to make sure that we have really an incredible experience for the visitors that we expect.
Okay, what's the general website again? What is it called?
Oceanstate26.com.
Okay, and if people go there, what are they going to see, and what are you asking them to do?
So right now we have a pre-application out, and what it is to say, hey, nonprofits, what are you interested in doing and hosting? We've heard about food truck festivals, cultural events, musical events, and of course a ton of youth soccer efforts, whether it be a soccer tournament or clinics. And we're looking to hear what people want to do so that we can raise the dollars to fund those exercises.
So you want soccer mania around here.
Soccer and culture, right? So we will have upwards of 4 to 5 countries spending a lot of time here. And so wouldn't it be nice if we had the famous singer or retired soccer players from those countries here so that we could entertain them that way as well?
Do you envision any kind of a downtown pavilion or a fair, or you watch the game with us if you can't get the tickets? And do you want some of the teams to stay here? I'm hearing that in the background, that maybe we can get some of these international teams to stay in Providence.
So it is looking like there will be one college in Rhode Island that will be a base camp. It's not public information, it's not guaranteed yet. But if we do get that base camp, you're looking at an extra 250 to 500,000 people, depending on how popular that team is. So that's a big piece of our exercise, to try to find a way to really appreciate those folks that are coming here. But some of the other events that are happening across the entire state, it's really about celebrating who Rhode Island is from a soccer and cultural standpoint.
What about the new soccer stadium? Any plans for that?
Oh, so yes, very closely been working with them. With Rhode Island FC, they've been great partners in this. They will still be having their regular scheduled games, so we expect each one of those to do very, very well. Nonetheless, the possibility of having special events surrounding those games, but they're also looking at musical concerts to celebrate the cultures that are here as well.
All right, there are 6 games being played at Gillette?
7 games.
7 games being played at Gillette, so that's 7 opportunities.
And that's the equivalent of 7 Super Bowls coming up there. So we know that we're going to be a very popular place.
All right. Now, I assume when this starts, maybe Rhode Islanders aren't completely aware of this. I think every hotel room is going to be booked.
I think you can anticipate that, yes.
Right. And the restaurants are going to be busy, so you better make a reservation if you want to eat.
Well, we've been working very closely with Rhode Island Hospitality Association. They'll be giving some training to the restaurants, to the hotels, to make sure that they understand what's happening, but also to be able to understand the cultures that are coming. You know, there are a wide variety of tipping cultures across the country, and so we want to make sure that everybody understands how we like to do things here.
Okay, are we going to run shuttles up to the stadium, back and forth, special trains? What's that? What are you hearing about that?
So that's what's happening right now. There has been a security working group that's been meeting for probably almost the entire year. But also a transportation group that's been meeting for many, many months. It is looking like there'll be a train that goes up and back and forth, but not necessarily a lot of trains. You're not looking at that being your main source of being able to get up there. So we are looking at a transportation hub to have buses that go up to the stadium.
Remind us, when is all of this happening?
So the first game at Boston Stadium is June 13th, with the last one being July 9th.
Okay, and 6 games. 7 games, you said. By the way, games are also going to be played in Los Angeles, New York, Canada, Mexico. It is the World Cup for the entire world, but North America gets it this year.
So we do expect that a lot of the international visitors will be coming into Logan, spending time in Boston, using public transportation, because that's what they're used to.
Right.
But there are games in Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey line, Boston, and then Toronto. And there will be a cluster of teams that spend a lot of time in this region. So we expect we're going to be getting really quite a few of the Americans coming up 95 North to enjoy the games in that whole area.
Now, our airport will be busy.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
So airport, hotels, restaurants, festivals, culture, shows. We want in on the action. All told, how much money do you think is out there for Rhode Island to grab?
They're estimating $331 million spent just between those 39 days, the length of the entire tournament, just in Rhode Island.
And what do you think we can grab? 10% of it? 20% of it? What do you think?
Oh, that's the number just for Rhode Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we're going to grab that, then this is worth more than $1 billion, I would assume.
They're expecting more than $1 billion in all of New England.
Okay. Before you took this on, is this a voluntary position for you?
No, it is not.
Do you like soccer?
I was a soccer mom. Who doesn't love soccer? It's the hottest sport in the world these days.
It is in the world, but it's not that hot here. Why is it that soccer doesn't catch on as much as we'd like? Basketball, football, baseball, soccer follows.
Gene, you'll have to look at your Twitter feed afterwards. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are real soccer fans here in Rhode Island.
Oh, there are. We've had the whole argument over the soccer stadium. We do have a base here, but you'd have to concede that it's not the hottest sport. Football, basketball, it's eclipsed by all of those. All right, before you took this on, you were our Commerce Secretary, and you were presiding over it while Hasbro was deciding whether it wants to stay or leave. It left. What can you tell me about that? Your efforts and the state's efforts to keep Hasbro here. Governor said he had university presidents, CEOs, the boss at Breeze call up this guy, Chris Cox at Hasbro, and said, you ought not to leave. What can you add to that?
I can agree with the governor. It was a team effort. So many parties were involved in trying to get them to stay here. Yeah. And we put forward a really compelling package that we really didn't think they could turn down. So we're very sad that they're going.
Well, why do you think they left? It's my understanding that Chris Cox, who runs Hasbro, didn't want to stay here. That you could have offered to build him the Taj Mahal. But he's not staying here. Yeah. What part of it, what part of the story do I not understand completely?
They talked to us about their workforce development. They felt like there was an inability to hire who they wanted to hire. Okay. But they were also concerned about transportation. They talked to us a lot about the ability to fly people internationally into our local airport, and we're concerned about not being able to do that. Nonetheless, flights to their other facilities out in Seattle, Washington.
Right. And how much was the factor that they just wanted to be in maybe a bigger, more cosmopolitan city? We're great, but Boston has got a lot more stuff going on. Same thing with New York. Was that a factor that Chris Cox just didn't want to stay here?
I think maybe from him. I mean, that was not a conversation that I had with him, but I can tell you that Rhode Islanders should be proud. We really put our best foot forward.
All right. Didn't work, but on to other things, including soccer. By the way, is there a mascot or a logo? Are we going to see a dancing puppet anywhere to push this? Are you thinking about that?
This is all happening under the umbrella of Ocean State 2026, the Summer of Soccer. To be sponsored by, to be determined. We'll be working on that piece for sure, but each of these events would be under one banner, which is why it's particularly appealing to business sponsors.
All right. Liz Tanner, former Commerce Secretary, now heading up our efforts to grab some of the soccer action. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.